The next question is from Toa Hordi Kanuva. Really hope I'm pronouncing that right. Anyway, what was the most painful, in a funny way, moment in your gaming life? Oh, God. Oh, God. There's so many of them, but the one that instantly comes to mind is one time when I was playing Okami. Yes. Okay, get this. Do you guys know what Cat Call Tower is? Cat Call Tower is this really, really huge tower in Okami that you have to climb to the very, very top to by jumping off the wall. Well, not off the wall, but like climbing up the wall. And it takes for freaking ever. It's not difficult or anything. Like, it really isn't. All you're really doing is button mashing for like 10 to 20 minutes. Really, you're just sitting there watching her climb up the wall all the way up to the top. And it really does take forever. It's a really freaking tall pillar. Well, on my first playthrough of Okami, I went up to that Cat Call Tower and I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And I start climbing up the tower. I'm getting impatient. I get up to the very, very top. Very, very top. And I'm just about done. I hit the top. And my game freezes. Yes. My game actually froze right then as I was finishing up my climb up the tower. I was so pissed off. The worst part is that I hadn't saved in a while, so I had to play back up to that point, climb all the way up the tower again for a second time, got up there, jumped off the tower, and then found out that I had to climb up a third time, because if you climb up a second time, you jump all the way down to the bottom, climb up a second time, and you'll get something extra. But I was so mad. I spent all that time just climbing up the tower, and then all of a sudden just nope. Game crashes. And it like freezes and it makes that really obnoxious buzzing sound. You know, when something breaks or something freezes, it just makes this really, really creepy buzzing sound. It did that. And I'm just like, no. No! No! And I just wanted to cry. I seriously almost cried at that. I was so pissed off. It wasn't even funny. So, that is probably the most painful moment in my gaming life. Is Cat Call Tower in Okami. Never want to do that again, but I probably will someday when I want to replay that game. But anyway, there you go. The Green Tanuki asks, Masae, will you marry me? JK's, how skilled are you in League of Legends? I suck at that game. I really suck at it. That's about all I can say about it, is that I just really suck. But the main reason is because I don't really play very often. I play maybe one game every few months, if even that. I really don't play League of Legends much. I want to start playing again, but I don't know, I just don't really have time to, and it's just like, if I think to play it, I'm just like, no, I should be getting something else done. So, yeah, that's why I suck really badly. Excuse me. The next question is from Iceberg Redux. Would you rather be without your computer for 1 week or your cell phone for 1 week? Okay, I immediately want to say cell phone because I'm not too dependent on my cell phone, but I keep it around for safety purposes, and I have to drive really far to class, so I don't want to be stranded on the side of the road without a cell phone. That would be really, really bad. Like, really bad. So I would have to say computer. But if I could keep a very minimalistic cell phone with me just for emergency calls, like no calling, no texting, no internet, no nothing, and only for emergencies, then I would probably, yeah, I would say that. I would get rid of my fancy little smartphone first. The next question is from 0MSTR14. Masae, do you have plans of doing other Tales of games in the future once you have the means to do so? Example, the PS3 games Tales of Grace's F and the upcoming Xillia. Okay, I'm not going to say no, I have absolutely no plans to. For now, yes, I have no plans to. But, I may do another one way really far in the future, but I'm sorry, Tales of Vesperia took up a year of my life. I'm not quite so quick to give up another year of my life on another Tales of game. Those games are really long. They are really long. Granted, Tales of Vesperia took so long because I had some stuff come up in the middle of it that had me go on hiatus a couple times, but still, they are really freaking long games, and I just don't think I can handle that so soon after Tales of Vesperia. But I would consider doing another Tales of game later. So, the answer's not no, but it's not yes for now. Anyway, moving on. Alexandre Daigo Biaodoin. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to pronounce that. I know I'm butchering it. But they ask, are you the one who made that chibi human female fox? Because I find it quite adorable. Aw, thank you. But yes, I am the one who drew it. Thank you. The next question is from Riptide Gale. What drawing program do you use to make your Star Fox chibi avatar? All of my artwork, including that one, is drawn with Photoshop. The next question is from Jacket Kong. Which Let's Play that you've done do you feel is your favorite? That's tough. That's really tough. I honestly have a soft spot for Majora's Mask, even though I wouldn't really say that's my favorite. But that was the first time that I actually did 100% in a game. So I do have a really, really soft spot for Majora's Mask. But I think the one that I did the best in would probably the later parts of Tales of Vesperia. The early parts, I'm just like, I was still trying to get to know my commentary style for that game. So probably the later parts of Tales of Vesperia. The next question is from KPanda51395. If you could have superpowers, what would you choose and why? I would be a freaking shapeshifter, dude! That would be so cool, just be able to, like, look at something and then shapeshift into it. That would be like the master of disguise. Either that, or I could, like, turn into a freaking dragon and, like, fly off into the distance and make everyone go absolutely crazy. That would be so fun. And, or just morph into a bird and go for a flight. That would be really freaking cool. It probably wouldn't be the most practical thing to be, but if I could just turn into a bird and, like, fly across the city, then I wouldn't have to, like, drive anywhere. Assuming I could keep my clothes when I shapeshift back. That would be really freaking cool, dude. The next question is from Ancient Muse 836. How much contact have you had with the Japanese internet culture? For example, watched anime, drew anime characters, listened to J-pop, etc. Tell me, what have you watched, played, listened to from Japan? Ohayou gozaimasu, Mr. Roboto. I don't know. Honestly, I am really into Japanese culture. Like, I'm really into the Asian culture. Like, my parents are very Asian-y, so it's kind of a natural thing for me these days. I watched a lot of Japanese dramas, like Shinsengumi, NHK. That was a lot of fun. I watched tons of anime back in the day. I don't so much anymore because of how little time I have now. But I listen to a lot of J-pop, J-rock, and a lot of stuff like that. And, I want to learn how to speak Japanese. That would be so freaking cool. I could play all the really, really obscure games and be like, let's translate! Make a new series, just be like, I'm going to play this game and translate everything into English for you guys. That'd be so freaking cool. I would do that, but, yeah, I can't speak Japanese except for bits and pieces. I speak broken Japanese, let's put it that way. But, lately I've been more into K-drama, like Jumong, and, Baekdongsu, stuff like that, or, just a lot of things like that. I'm really into the K-drama stuff now. It's, I don't know, it's a lot more emotional than the Japanese drama, so, yeah. Anyway, the next question is from Twilight Hero Shard. What are the top 3 hardest bosses from any game in your opinion? You know, I'm not really the best person to ask about this because I play easy games. I'll say right now, I don't play very difficult games. I'm ashamed, yes, but I don't know. I just haven't really played very difficult games. But in my opinion, one of the really, really difficult bosses is the one in Tales of Vesperia. I'm not gonna say anything in case anyone hasn't played that game, but not. I don't want to say anything because it's spoilers. But yes, if you're curious, Tales of Vesperia. Tales of Vesperia has a very difficult final boss. So, yeah. Moving on before I spoil something. But I can't really think of anything else that has a really difficult boss. Trauma Center for DS. Whichever one that was that I played. That one was freaking impossible. I don't know how I beat it, but I did. Somehow. Trauma Center is freaking impossible, dude. I had fun with it, but yeah. That was really difficult. And I'm sorry, but I can really only think of those two. Seriously, yeah, I know it's kind of pathetic, but I really can't think of anything else that I had a particularly hard time with. Those are the only two that I really found difficult. Like, super difficult. Maybe some RPG I played back in the day. If I really thought about it, I could think of one, but just nothing really comes to mind except those two. Next question is from Fat Guys with Burgers. That's a nice username, dude. Masae, do you watch Adventure Time? I do not. I'm curious about it, but I have not actually gotten around to watching it. I don't know why, but it really freaking creeps me out. Just the art style or something, I don't know. It's so creepy, especially that dog. I watched a couple clips from it, and I'm just like, what was this guy on when he made this series? I mean, he had to be on something. I have no idea, but I'm super curious about it. I might watch it sometime, but it's just one of those things where I just look at it and I'm just like, I don't really want to watch this. So anyway, so yeah, not yet. I haven't watched it yet. The next question is from Games Galore 13. The first of your Let's Plays I watched was Wind Waker. I loved it and it was really funny. While I watched, I saw that you raged at a lot of parts in the game, which is understandable. I just wanted to know what was the most rage-inducing part in the game for you. I'd like to know. Ooh. That's tough. That's tough. I think, actually, you know what? I think I know what it is. The most rage-inducing part of that whole game was probably that stupid minigame where you have to use the leaf to fly across, and it's like, I forget what it's called. It's like the wind platform? Excuse me. Like a wind platform or something? I'm not sure. Like, you had to take the leaf, and then you had to glide across to the finish line. Like, over the ocean. I don't know. It was really, that was really frustrating. The next question is from Philip Plays. When you first began Let's Playing, was it extremely difficult as a beginner back then? And if so, why and what made it so difficult for you back then? It was very difficult. I think the most difficult thing for me to overcome was the embarrassment. The really extreme embarrassment. Like, I was so shameful just starting that, and I don't like hearing my own voice, so talking and hearing myself talk, and I just felt so stupid sitting in front of the TV and just blabbering on about nothing. I didn't like that at all, and it was really hard to keep pushing on and keep going, but I did it. That was the most difficult part for me to get used to, was just hearing my own voice and not feeling like I was wasting my own time. The next question is from Cloudmon. My question is, what's your recording setup like? It is a mess of cables, dude. It is a mess of cables that spread all over my floor and not very organized in any way, shape, or form. I'm serious. It is quite a mess. It's kind of one of those things that I just kind of look at it for like 2 seconds and then I look away. I have my computer hooked up to my capture card, then I have the capture card hooked up to the game system, then I have the capture card also hooked up to my TV. So I don't want to go into like extreme detail about it, but it's just, yeah. It's by my desk though, so really convenient to see the big glaring TV in front of me, and it's just like, record now! You haven't recorded in days! You know, it really says that to me sometimes. I swear I hear it, really. But anyway, so yeah, that's what my recording setup is like. Really big mess. TV Gamer 5524 asks, what's your favorite console or handheld? I love the 3DS. 3DS is amazing. I don't know, it's something I can always play, I always carry it around with me, and it really looks good. And it's so fascinating how it's 3D without glasses. I'm still, even though it's like a couple years old by now, it's just like, oh, I love this so much, it's so cool. So yeah, I'd have to say that my favorite would probably be the 3DS. But then again, the Wii U is really freaking cool too, so I'm loving that. Drunken Fruit asks, Pocky or Yan Yan? I have no idea what Yan Yan is, so Pocky is my answer. Pika Wing asks, what's your favorite game of all time? Why do you ask this? This is so difficult. Like, I love a lot of different games for a lot of different reasons. Like, I love Tales of Vesperia and Tales of Symphonia. They're both extremely good games. I enjoy them both so much, and Tales of really is my favorite series, but I'd probably have to say my favorite game of all time would be Xenoblade. Like, I played that, and I was just like, oh my god, this game is freaking amazing. It's so good. The story is so good. I was on the edge of my seat from the moment I picked up the game. I was on the edge of my seat. And it's just like, the thing about Tales games is that they always start out really slow. Yeah, they start out really slow, and then you have to kind of get into it. Like, you have to kind of sit down through the first maybe an hour, and then really get into the game. Xenoblade didn't really have that, so I really got into it really quickly, and I fell in love with all the characters, too. The next question is from Twyla. My question is, are you going to be Let's Play Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword? I will eventually. Eventually. I don't know when I will. It's not going to be the next one that I do, but I will eventually, because I love Zelda. All of you know that I love Zelda. I'm like the biggest Zelda fangirl ever. Well, maybe not ever, but I still really freaking love Zelda. I mean, seriously, I'm wearing my Symphony of the Goddesses Zelda shirt right now. Like, I'm not even kidding. And it's not something that I would really skip out on, but I will someday. So just keep tuned in for that. The next question is from Omega Debu. If a company released a VR MMORPG, which stands for Virtual Reality Massively Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Game, for those who do not know, like Sword Art Online or Alfheim Online, what would you name your avatar other than Masae, and what class would you be? Like a mage, swordsman, merchant, or something along those lines? I don't know. That's a fantasy that I always love to think about. It's just like, that would be so freaking cool. That reminds me of like Dot Hack or something like that. That's really freaking amazing, and I wish we were at that level of technology where we could actually do something like that, but I doubt it. But anyway, back on track. I would probably name myself, I don't know, some other random jumbled up letters that I think of, like, I don't know. Masae is the only thing I can really think of, really. Like, whenever it takes me hours, literally hours, to think of usernames for anything, and I don't know, it's usually just a whole big mashed up pit of letters, which is what Masae was, honestly. Masae was originally just a bunch of letters that I mashed together, and I was just like, oh, hey, this looks cool, I'll use it, back in the day, so, that was years ago, though. So, I don't know what I'd name myself. I'd have to think about that. But the class that I would be, I don't know. I want to say a mage, because I love magic. Magic is just like my thing. It just sounds so fun. But at the same time, I'm kind of naturally good at archery. Somewhat, anyway. Not really great, but still. I do have fun with archery games. Whenever I can, like, point and shoot with archery, I love it. It's really fun, and I can really get into it. but at the same time, I would be tempted to go for an assassin path because that's stealthy and sneaky, but knowing me, I am not stealthy or sneaky in the least, so I would not be good at that, so probably a mage or an archer, honestly.